Good evening, everybody. I'm Jim Ladd, and tonight we're going to meet two rock and roll outlaws.
Hughie Thomasson, lead guitar.
And
Billy Jones.
Two of the 6 members that make up one of the hottest guitar bands ever to come out of the South and survive.
I got kicked out of high school for long hair, which
too?
really wasn't long.
In the South, it was really degrading back there to have a son that had long hair in the first place. I can remember riding around and driving a car and never wanting to stop at a stoplight because guys would literally want to kick your ass. I mean, just because you had long hair, you know. We had a lot of fights even when we were playing bands. We played at one time at Lakeland Civic Center, man. We got attacked by, or at least accosted by about 20 or 30 people, you know. Had to fight it out with microphone stands. And it drew a lot of people into themselves. You know, I know that for a fact to be my own case because I just didn't want to go out. I got to the point where I didn't want to drive around, you know.
Your only escape was your guitar
right.
at that point.
Just sitting down and listening to music, getting a little stoned or whatever, you know, we could do back then. We did have the line back then on how to get high anyway.
Yeah,
you know, so
everybody could figure that one out.
It's turned around a lot now in the South. I think it's one of them better places to be now.
That is amazing to me because the South, which has always been known for being, you know, violent and racist and all those things we've always heard, you know. Inbreeding. And, look at us.
Look at Jones. My mother will have something to say to you. The focus is on the South now because the South was always so overlooked in political, music, you know, every kind of idea you can think of. And so finally the South is bringing out its own, like now the political aspects of having a Southern president. All of a sudden Southern groups, musicians that were always frowned on by people from, you know, the supposedly hot spots in music, Detroit and New York City, Los Angeles, and all these people, are taking a second look. You know, now country music, even Nashville and people like that are starting to get a national and international esteem. You know, and I think that a lot of that has to do with the idea that the South has always been really drastically overlooked in every kind of thing that unfolds. And now, like, a lot of Southern groups are coming to their own, you know. The Almonds really set the pace there, and then after that, everybody felt like they could really go out and do their own thing. Musicians breed down there. There's, like, more bars in the South than there is anywhere in the United States. And if you want to play and make $100 a week and you got any kind of talent at all, you can always go into one of these little sleazy bars. And that's how we got ours, you know, and a lot of people have made it that way now.
Do you guys view yourselves, and I don't mean to be cliche because of the name Outlaws, but I mean, I see rock and rollers as outlaws in general. Do you still think it's pretty much that way, or have we all kind of grown into society pretty much now?
Well, I think we're pretty independent of society, man. It's almost like a counter-social movement, you know. Because we can go out and raise hell every night, and we still manage to make as much bucks as a guy that, you know, works at the grocery store every day. I think a lot of times people look down on us or frown on it at least, you know. It's like an anti-social movement.
The fact that you got freedom and are still making money.
Right, yeah. But it's good.
Doing what you want instead of what you have to do, you know.
The entertainment business is a wild business.
I'd agree with that.
I mean, you know, we come into these hotels at 9 o'clock in the morning completely burn out, you know, and look like we've been on drugs for 10 years or something like this, you know.
Yeah.
Then you check in the nicest hotels in town, you know, it's kind of, people kind of look down on it. Can't understand it.
By far the strongest and most dynamic force in this group of Southern musicians is their incredible guitar style. The Outlaws can, like few other bands in rock and roll, play 2 and sometimes 3 guitars as if they were one. Their harmony and counterpoint lead lines that they have developed have been counted as some of the best, and they've gone a long way in producing that one-of-a-kind sound known as the Outlaws.
There have been a few bands, you know, Buffalo Springfield and the Eagles were another one, but few that have made guitars really talk Allman Brothers. But you guys really have that down. I mean, it's amazing to me how well synchronized and how well you play together. You know what I mean? It's at times like one guy playing.
A lot of times people don't appreciate that. A lot of people don't talk about it a whole lot, you know?
There is something there, and I think, without oversimplifying, I think maybe it may have a lot to do that you've known each other for so long, you know?
Has a lot to do with it. Because like when I started off playing with Hughie, I was just playing mostly rhythm guitar. And he's been an ace, you know, he's been our ace in the hole for a long time. And I just decided I was going to catch up. And by God, I did. Or I'm still catching up, you know. I'm still trying to play catch-up baseball, but, you know, it has a lot to do with that.
We just sit down together and bounce ideas off of each other, and he may come up with like a half a line that sounds good, and the rest of the line for the guitar solo is like and or vice versa, and we just keep working at it until we find one melody that will fit the song that we both like, and then we go and add the harmony to it, whether it be a high harmony or a low harmony.
We've gained a lot too, even since like the first album. Because like the first album, it was more or less if we found a filler spot that Hughie was already playing a lead on, I would go ahead and put a double on top of it to where it wasn't that same old monotonous, one lead and then another guy plays the lead. We'd fill in. On the third album, we actually sat down with Simzik, and we'd say, well, we're going to put a double lead here, and he'd say, well, think of one, and we just sit there together and put one together, because we've been playing together a long time, and so we can sort of like feel each other out.
It has a lot to do too, I think, and the Outlaws are a good example of this, of musicians that play for the band rather than, okay, I'm the lead guitar player and I'm the lead singer, and I mean,
we try to break down that competition thing. A lot of bands are inter-competitive with them themselves.
That's got to be horrible, I would think.
Yeah, I don't see how we could do it if it was like that.
We are a little bit competitive, because Jones knows if he slacks up, I'm going to bounce him around the stage for a while, and he'll do the same to me, so it kind of keeps us both on our toes,
But without either one of us trying to play the role of a star,
I think that's the thing, yeah. I mean, you may kick each other in the ass to get but that's for the other guy to be better, rather than for you to shine more than he does.
To make the whole band sound good, as opposed to any one guy.
Would you consider you guys family?
Yeah, we like each other a lot, We spend a lot of time together.
I don't know too many other people anymore,
Yeah, like Hughie and I, we both thought about it. I don't think either one of us could play with anybody else right away. It's just one of those things,
Do you all get that rush, still the rush after this time from playing? I mean, when you have a hot night, does it get you off as much as it used to?
Sometimes we'll come off the stage, I won't be able to even pick up a can of beer. Our hands are shaking so much.
Right.
That's something that never leaves. If it ever left, I think I'd have to hang it up.
Yeah, it also depends on the crowd too. Okay, if the crowd or the people we're playing for dig what we're doing, they let us know it. Okay, it makes it that much more that we want to give them. Okay, and in return they give that much more back. And by the end of the set, man, it's crazy sometimes. You come off and he's shaking like a leaf. And then we have to go back and do another song. And we got down to it now where we cut off our dressing. We don't let anybody in, period, for at least 15 minutes to a half an hour after we get done playing, just so everybody can cool out and get back to normal and be themselves. Because
it's really hard now, because we used to be able to do this is 3 years back, we could do 4 or 5 hours of songs here, and now we're stuck with like an hour, and you've really got to come out and leave everybody with that climatic feel, or else you've let everybody down. I mean, you can't. There's not too much room for mistake, Air plays a very heavy part in it.
I'm Jim Ladd, and we'll be back with Billy Jones and Hughie Thomasson of the Outlaws right after we take a great big hit. Agreed.
If you guys weren't so damn tired here, you know what I'm saying? Jesus. Not enough drugs, or too many.
Yeah, too many late, not enough in the morning.
That's probably it. So, I'll tell you another song I'd like to discuss here is Knoxville Girl. That is an extremely hot tune. Who wrote that?
That's nobody in this band wrote that song.
Well,
it's not?
But Henry re-lyriced it.
It was a standard, traditional bluegrass song, just about, Tennessee is where it came from. And like you said, Henry just took it and changed a couple of words, and that's how we came up with it.
Would you say you do or you don't consider Hurry Sundown a concept album? I mean, I wouldn't say
it's half and half.
Yeah. Was the Outlaw that you talk about in there, is that anybody from history or?
No, it's a ghost. It's just like a part of your imagination. You can make up your own mind what he looks like,
Fill in your own space.
Yeah, I left it very open, What does the line say? Waiting for the ghost of an outlaw. Sundown was his name. Tried to kind of leave it open without defining exactly what or who it was, If you listen to the words of the song, at the last verse repeats the first verse, except it uses a girl's name, Jessie, which is not on the record, which was the way it was originally written. Because the song talks about a band of gypsies camped out, you know, and someone kills the gypsy girl, right? The one that's dancing around the campfire, the beautiful girl and everything, okay? And the gypsies' way of revenge is calling for their Hurry Sundown, okay, to come and avenge her death.
What do you think for the Hurry Sundown album was the best thing that you came up with? What is it that the group said, that's the track that we came closest on?
It's hard to say.
That's a tough one. Because when we started building the skeleton on this thing, everything sounded good. I don't know, man. To me, everything came out sounding really excellent. I'd hate to have to put it on 1 or 2 songs, you know. But what I really got off on is the way that Man of the Hour came out. That was another one of the antiques that we pulled out of the bag, you know.
So I was about 9 years old, too.
Yeah, and we just, we were sitting in there and we'd already decided what songs were going to be on the record, and then Hughie just happened to be strumming that song along, and Bill seemed to like it a lot. And we put it down, and it came out sounding really good.
Recording.
My name is Jim Ladd, and this is a standard outro for Innerview. We'll be back with Billy Thomasson, and that's the wrong names, isn't it?
Certainly it's wrong.
Okay,
yeah,
let's try it
talk
again.
louder.
Okay.
Or get up
A little closer?
Yeah, yeah.
How's that?
Try it.
You could turn up the volume. That's all right, I'll just scream. My name is Jim Ladd. We'll be back with Billy Jones and Hughie Thomasson of the Outlaws when Innerview continues. How is this?
The phrase green grass and high tides, that's been around much longer than the record. I mean, where did that come from? Do you know? Because the Rolling Stones had a
High Tides and Green Grass.
High Tides and Green Grass. But wasn't that like some kind of, it was a saying that was around for a while?
I don't have any idea where it came from. That was Hughie's.
I thought that was sitting by a lake out at Hobie's house. That's where that came from. A friend of ours used to play in a band with and lived on a lake, and there was like all this real high, I don't know what you call it. Just like a grass, but it was about 2-3 feet high, and it ran all along the shore, you know. Green grass and high tide, you know.
I'll tell you one thing, if I may, if I never play Green Grass and High Tides again in my life on the radio, it will not be too soon. My God, do you know how many times that song is requested?
You know how many times we've played that song?
That is, I mean, that's
pretty outrageous for sure.
Everybody I talk to has been telling me it's been played all the time, and I haven't gotten any checks in the mail, Charlie. This is our manager, Charlie Brusco, over here.
Charlie Brusco, how you doing?
You're a very high-paid BMI artist. Remember that? You made that's what made the
company. Right.
Company's real rich, you know. It's a very strange phenomenon. I mean, that tune, 9 minutes and something, is, I ain't stroking it, that is requested just on my 4 hours. It has to be requested 5 or 6 times a night. A night. Sick. You know, how old is that song?
10 years.
I mean, it's like kind of a...
9, 10 years old.
Is it for you guys, 9 or 10?
Yeah. It's went through a lot of changes since we first...
Yeah, 10 years ago it was simply a bare skeleton, you know, nothing like it is now. I don't think it'd be quite as highly requested had it not gone through the evolution that it went through.
We all grew up in Florida, lived there all our lives. So.
Did you know each other way before the Outlaws?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that right?
I guess I knew you before. Man, it's been so long ago since we started this band.
Junior high school, we knew each other.
Yeah.
He was in high school. He was a year or 2 ahead of me.
That's right, I was with a competitive band in Tampa.
And we blew you guys right off the stage.
Uh-oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Look out.
That's baloney.
The Outlaws versus the Dave Graham group.
You guys...
Outlaws won.
Baloney.
I say no more.
Had more tattoos than the Dave Graham groups.
We had better players. They only had Jones.
This guy, boy.
So you stole Jones and they just...
Yeah, right.
Hughie, don't wipe it on the microphone.
I didn't.
Jeez, God damn, it's tacky. You know what I mean? I left it right there.
Sick.
That's another one for you. Here's a little bit of the Outlaws that I brought back with me. But anyway, so the Outlaws are still happening. You're still pretty much friends after all this, and it's all...
After all these years.
After all these years, still crazy. Well, all right, I think we're going to call it a day. Is there anything we could cover here that we haven't?
I'm not covered
I'd
out.
just like to say hi to Mel Brooks. Thanks for Blazing Saddles. We watch it about 10 times a day on the bus. It's a funny movie.
Well, if you'd like to say good night to America here.
Good night, America.
You said it. I don't need to.
I hope you've enjoyed tonight's interview, and I'd like to thank Ellen White from Arista Records for her help and energy in arranging this conversation. Also, very special thanks to my partner, the one and only Jack Morris, and to Robbie Carroll and Lindsay Guerrero of Innerview Incorporated. Now, I hope you hear us next week, same time and same frequency.